Well, y'all already done started up a very interesting conversation already. But before the damn state, you. Oh, hey, what's going on, people? What's going on, people? Man, hey, man, we got the heavy hitters live here on a Wednesday night. Um, as you already know, I am your host, K Styles, aka the Sixth Man. We got Senator Palpatine to my stage left,
Right.
and right below him, he's calling himself the icon right now. The Don's favor in the building, y'all.
It's showtime, folks.
And we got a special guest with us tonight, man. Come on, Mike, Don. What we got Matt.
All right, I got it out my system now. I got it out my system. All
Oh,
right,
Matt Greed.
we
Or
got
Matt
we got
Greed.
we got Matt in the building, man. Who's a Matt? Go ahead, introduce yourself to the people. Let people know who you are right now.
Hey, yeah, my name's Matt. I write for a Clemson website called Shaking the Southland. I also do a podcast for TigerNet.com. So, a good bit of coverage with Clemson
whoa, whoa, whoa,
sports.
whoa, 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 whoa. Say that again.
What,
The last part. Tiger, what?
TigerNet.com.
Oh, I thought I heard something else. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, all right.
No, TigerNet, TigerNet.
Yeah, I thought I heard something else. All right, never mind. We good.
But yeah, so I've got that. But yeah, I graduated Clemson in 2017, so I was there for the first of Dabo's titles. Um, Grew up though up about an hour and a half north of Atlanta, so I'm a diehard Falcon fan. So I got a little bit of perspective on both sides.
Okay.
Yeah, we know quite a few of those. Yeah.
Hey man, hey, look, I'm about to say ain't no shame in that, man. So before we go ahead and kick it off with it too, man. I want to ask you a question before we get to the main source at the top of the night. So as you being a writer for Clemson and being a Falcon fan, how have you felt about this pipeline that the Falcons in recency history has had with the Clemson Tigers?
Oh, I mean, I've loved it. I mean, it's great that a lot of the guys that I cheer for on Saturday, I get to cheer for on Sunday. I mean, that's I can't complain about that. I definitely it does. It sometimes kind of can be a little rough when you see. I know with AJ Terrell, there were a lot of people who didn't like that pick, and you just sit there and it's like, come on, like give him a chance. He's going to be good. He's been good, but you sit there and you it is kind of tough to see like a lot of the fan base, especially because I know a lot of the Falcons fans are also Georgia fans, so they immediately want to start discrediting any Clemson player that comes through. But yeah, no, it's been really a great little pipeline. I really like it. I mean, it's honestly the Falcons are probably the closest team to Clemson. I mean, it's either they or the Panthers, so it's nice to see the guys get to stay pretty local as well.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into the roll call. Like you said, just wanted y'all to get a little perspective of Matt and where the show is gonna be tonight before we get straight into it. All right, we got Big Ed in the building, Brian Peoples, Ty Jackson, A137, YMOF Jamal. We got Southside, we got Dre Murphy. Like you said, if you're new to the channel, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and hit that share button, like on the Heavy Hitters Live. If you're looking for Jew Talk Sports, he's handling family business right now, so he was not going to be able to make it. But shout out to the minister.
A1 30 sauce, man. What's good, man? Matter of fact, man, I just ate some A1 sauce on my steak too.
I knew you was gonna say that because I was thinking about food too. So I can't say nothing about you right now. When I heard that, I thought I was thinking about food too. So yeah.
Okay. You see, here y'all go talking about food. Now I'm gonna have to start thinking about food. And I can't do that right now, man. I can't do that. But shout out to Jew and Teacher Red. Also, make sure you show them some love on the You and
You and
I.
I.
Shout out to Rick James, RP podcast. We got Auntie Pam in the building. So let's go ahead and get right into it, man. The biggest question that everybody has had about this draft was the Atlanta Falcons trading up early in the second round and selecting Ruke. I don't know how to say the last name, but I have to give a shout out to one of the listeners of this show. But since we can't, since we got to get used to trying to the last name, we just call him Scooby Doo.
It's a roll. It's a roll. Like
But
roll your boat gently down the stream.
see, all I think about is Scooby snacks when I have to say that.
Man, look, Scooby snacks do
Oh,
sound good.
Yeah, it does.
Roll.
A
Okay.
roll
Damn
your
it,
boat gently down
damn
the
it! For
stream.
this show tonight, his name's just gonna be Ruke. Okay, so so from somebody that's covered that may not that well Falcon fan that may not know about Ruke like that. What was your perspective of his time at Clemson, and what can the Falcon fans expect from him?
You know, Ruke's a really interesting guy because he's born in Nigeria and came to the States to Michigan when he was
Go blue.
about 9. He was he didn't start playing football until I think his junior year of high school. So 3-star, kind of an under the radar recruit. Chose Clemson over some teams like Kentucky, Indiana. Just really was a good find by Brent Venables and Todd Bates. Kind of a guy that was going to be a project. He's a basketball guy, which I love it when defensive tackles are basketball guys, because like if you can play high school basketball being a good 100 pounds bigger than everybody else, you're probably a pretty good athlete. So I'm big on that. But yeah, just a guy that it took a few years kind of to develop him. Again, he's a raw player, but by the end became a really big contributor for the defense. I know Clemson, everybody kind of looks at how there's been a little bit of a fall off the past 3 years. That's been mostly offense. The defense has been really good, and Ruke's a huge part of that. And really, he's a guy that I think a lot of people, myself included, thought he was going to be gone after the 2022 season. Just him, Tyler Davis, decided they had some unfinished business and came back for one more year. But yeah, I mean, he's just a tremendous athlete. It was a little bit surprised the Falcons traded up to take him as early as they did, but I think he's a good value pick.
Okay. Hey Don, man. So what did you think about that? How do you want to add on to that? What did you think about that pick?
Well, I remember Aurora back in 2017, 18 recruiting class, I believe.
Yeah, he's 2018 or 2019. So
yeah, 2018 recruiting class, and I remember because he's from Michigan, and I was like, okay, Michigan can get this guy on their D line. I think we'll be back again, because remember we were a good team, but we were still looking for impact players to beat Ohio State, because at that point we were just concerned about beating Ohio State. We weren't worried about winning the national championship. But anyway, I remember Clemson, Kentucky, as Matt Grady just said, recruiting him, and he went to Clemson. Didn't start much the first couple of years, and he came into his own after that 2022-2023 season. And and I know that in the draft, I really saw him as a high first round. I really thought Buffalo or Kansas City was going to end up getting him, because the situation with Ed Oliver in Buffalo, I'm thinking like, okay, they could draft Ed Oliver's replacement if they decide they want to just let him walk or whatever. But he didn't get drafted in the first round, still in the second round, and we moved down to grab him. And I immediately, everybody thought that, he's Grady's replacement. No, he's not Grady's replacement. If we're playing a 3-4 defense, he would not be playing nose tackle. He would be the DN on that defensive line. Okay. So he's very strong for his size. I know his height is one thing. He's 6'1", 6'2", I believe.
No, he's 6'4".
6'4". Okay.
Yeah.
Why I keep thinking that he was 6'2"? All right. So okay. Yeah, so he'll fit right with what we need as a DN on the 3-4 defense.
Okay. All right, Mike. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Give your thoughts on the previous statements by both fellas, man. What do you think?
Excuse me. So looking at his numbers, the tackles for losses wouldn't bring kind of really jumps out to me. So and they've been fairly consistent for the last what 3 years. Take he had an
Hmm.
injury, injury in 2020, I believe. So you look at his 8, 8, and 8. Those are the things that jumped out to me is um this guy gets in the backfield. Like he penetrates. Those are the guys that you want on the defense side of the ball, especially in a defense like a Jimmy Lake and what we become accustomed to with Raheem Morris. He likes those bigger defensive linemen, the long guys like Michael Bennett, those types of guys. So you look at him, man. It's like the athleticism, the Adrian Claiborne's, whatnot, the Rasheed Hagan. It's like he's clearly he clearly has a type. Um, and I think he fits perfectly for what he wants to do. And I think that's the thing. If you're looking at Root for to be a mega star and just blow you away with a lot of athleticism, you're looking for him to be a Grady Jarrett or Aaron Donald. Like he's not that, but he wins with a lot of effort and he plays with a lot of heart from what I've seen. So that's what jumps out to me. I really don't care to for sacks because I've always stated that sacks are more so of a design
Hmm.
than it is effort. Like you can design sacks, and what I mean by design, I always use I say a half a circle, but like you cut it off. You want the defensive ends to get up. You want the defensive tackle to be stationary, and you want those guys to go forward. So you always want to kind of keep this type of shape around him. And so if the quarterback, if he runs out, he runs to a sack. He runs to, it's like, so that's what you want for him. So this is why you want guys like Rook to be disciplined. He's a disciplined rusher. He plays with passion, and those are the things that I think the Falcons are building upon is guys that play with passion and discipline. Because we've seen our guy, Arnold Ebiketie, and he's just all over the place. He runs himself out of sacks, and he makes unnecessary moves, and you're not going to get that from Rook.
Well, you saying that he plays with heart and passion. You know, the last time we had somebody here that played with heart.
Don't look. No, we're not doing that. Okay,
No, no,
that was
no,
a
no,
whole type of dip. That
no.
wasn't even passion. I don't
That,
know what that was.
no, that motherfucker had problems. I know who you talking about. He had
I
problems.
know exactly what you're talking about.
But Southside here said yeah, him and Dorless are completely different D tackles from Grady and Yamada. Southside, appreciate you coming in. We got Auntie Pam, appreciate you coming in. Terry Lloyd, Jerome 6'9". Um, let's see. We ain't really got too many other comments. So I give my take on it. I'll be honest with you. I ain't even know who the hell this guy was.
Oh, you an ACC guy?
I,
Okay, I'm a Tech fan, but goddamn, I gotta keep up with this, that shit. I
yeah,
try.
I've definitely seen him. I've definitely he stood out quite a
Yeah.
few games watching him.
Like I said, but um, having to do more film study and looking at more stuff based on him in particular as a defensive lineman. Like you said, he kind of reminds me a little bit of one of Mike's favorite players, Rasheed Hageman. To me, just a little bit of a Rasheed Hageman style. Not necessarily the most.
He's not going to blow you
Dominant.
with his agility. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not. He doesn't rush with the agility that a Grady Jarrett does or
Mm.
Aaron Donald, but he's very. I always say no wasted movement. Like he rushed with a purpose. Like he's
You
going.
know,
He know exactly what he wants to do when he
you know
rushes.
who he remind me of, and I hate saying this, but he has the potential of being a Richard Seymour.
Mm.
If you go look at his tape, you know what I'm talking about, Matt.
Yeah.
Like you go look at his tape, he reminds me a lot like a Richard Seymour.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's a good comparison. That's a obviously one of the better defensive linemen in recent history. But yeah, that's a great comparison. I think one of the things too, I really like Root coming into a three front like the Falcons are going to run.
Mm.
He so out of high school he was a defensive end and he was kind of one of those tweener guys about 270 where it's like, do we want him to cut about 10 pounds and play end? Do we want him to put on about 20 and be a tackle? So they beefed him up, put him at tackle. But he actually, Wes Goodwin had him play some end this year. He had some reps out there. Has some plays he dropped back in coverage. So kind of a versatile guy, and I think he can really make some moves as the outside that defensive tackle in a three front.
Did I hear you correctly?
They
In coverage.
had him in coverage a few times. Yeah.
Wow, that explains everything. Now it makes perfect sense.
I mean, like you said, when you think about the situation that the team is in right now, is you eventually are going to have to start building that defensive line because you do have a lot of guys that may be up at the end of the year. So you essentially need that foundational piece that's kind of like really versatile. And like Matt said, like Don said, like Mike said, he's a very versatile guy on that defensive line, which could be very key in this Jimmy Lake defense.
Hmm.
That's why I said Rasheed Hageman. Like I said, I let them say Richard Seymour, but like I said right now he's Rasheed Hageman until
Hagman is one of my favorite
and,
defensive
and,
I
linemen.
and,
love,
I
I
love him.
love she, yeah.
so you got a plus out of that. It could be worse. You could get Parade Jerry, but we ain't going down that
Oh
road.
Lord, please don't curse this dude. Please do not curse this dude with that, man.
I didn't say he was Parade Jerry. God damn it! I just said I'm gonna give you the worst case scenario that you do not want. But but yeah, y'all just we kind of segue into the next question. Um, as far as the heir apparent to Grady Jarrett. Do you think this guy's role is the heir apparent to Grady Jarrett?
I don't think so. I just think that they're going to play different kind of positions. I mean, I just think it's just he's just. I think as far as a true line is his position, he's not going to be now. Is that leader on the defense? He could be. One thing I like about Grady Jarrett off the field is he's been a big community guy. He's does a lot for the city. I think Ruke, even though he's not a local guy like Grady was, I think he could work his way into that role where you see him at charity events. You see him kind of as the
I
face
was
of the
gonna say something
defense.
that was so great.
But yeah, so that's kind of I could see him filling that kind of that team leader role that Grady is. I don't see them being a similar on the field type player.
Okay. 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 Well, what do you think, Don? Do you think that he is a guy that they can groom to kind of be the heir apparent to Grady Jarrett? Not necessarily his play style, but as far as being that staple on the defensive line.
I just think he's just another weapon that we're trying to develop on the defensive line. He's not a heir apparent to Grady Jarrett. I know a lot of people saying, "Oh, we got him for Clemson. He's gonna be the next guard." No, he's not. They two different type of defensive linemen. All right, like I we're still looking for a strong side defensive end, and I think you can get that with Ruke Orhorhoro. I know we've been loving Taquan Graham these past couple of years, but I really think Ruke he has a higher ceiling and he has more upside than Taquan. So and then we got the guy from Oregon, Brandon Dulles. So he's also going to be a project guy that we can put on the other end as well. And Duelist, I think he can also play nose a little bit as well. I think so, but Aurora, I want to put him at nose in the 3-4 scheme. Like just keep him on the outside. Um,
I
he
think
does
it
well.
depends on what you're doing though. Like
Yeah, but
you can put.
he does well at setting the edge too.
I got it, but like I've seen him at Clemson. The thing with Clemson, they use a lot of A and B glasses, blitzes. So if you have big, I think the Falcons could get away with putting him in as a nose if you're using a lot of A B blitzes. Like you can put a big because the Falcon has a big linebackers like K Nellis and Nate Lambert. Those some big guys. So if you kind of play those guys off of each other, you can get away. But like, yeah, I
in
wouldn't like
past situations, I won't
in
put him
past.
in nose. I won't put him in nose against the run. Hell no. That's just me. If I was Jimmy Lake and Raheem, I wouldn't do that.
Okay. All right. So, Mike, I got a question for you. Then I'm gonna let Matt kind of intertwine get his answer on this question as well. So, do you think that well, as we talked about foundation, as far as them building the team, overall team, we're not we excluding the offensive conversation right now because that's the conversation everybody cares about right now. But as far as defensively, is Ruke and Zach Harrison, could this possibly be a dangerous bookend duo down the line? What you think?
I think the Falcons are going to be like discussion on tackles. Like they're going to give tackles a lot of problems physically early in games. I think the thing with both Rook and Zach Harrison is both of those guys kind of rush similar. It's like they have similar rushing styles, and like I said, they use a lot of power, and they attack first with power, and then they use their athleticism to get around the guys. And I think with tackles, especially early in the game, you can kind of it'll you'll be in it, but I think you'll start to see the how how those guys are kind of beating them down towards the end of the game because offensive tackles for the most part they're going to get tired and then you start to see the style of the Atlanta Falcons. So I think really both of those guys are similar, but they're going to cause a lot of problems. And this is when you bring in a guy like Trice, Ebiketie, and the smaller guys, the guys that are going to get around you, just beat them up early, man, and then use the smaller guys to kind of get around. So I love it. This is actually how I would build my team. To be honest, I like bigger defensive linemen, kind of like Rasheed Hickman and Calais Campbell. Like those are the types of defensive ends I prefer.
So you don't like your defensive end 6'2", 230? You don't like you like
See, I'm not going down. I'm not going down there.
We're gonna be fast and physical guys. I'm so
No,
fired
no.
up. I'm so fired up.
Defensive tackles are 270 pounds. Like a defensive tackle, you know tackle. Okay,
Today.
okay.
Noah here said we're thinking about using 6D linemen. We're gonna be the sinister six. Hey,
I like it though. I
hey,
like it though.
I love it. I love it, man. All right, man, Matt, what you got on that, man? What you got on that?
Yeah, no, I agree with everything Mike said. I think those two guys very similar rushing styles. And I think can really be, they can just really give a lot of trouble to some offensive tackles. So yeah, I think it's absolutely a great pairing.
Okay, okay. Let's have a little fun question here. I'm gonna ask Matt here. I'm gonna pick his brain a little bit. Um, Outside of Ruke, out of the Clemson players that got drafted in this past draft, man, who
I
who
thought you was
who
about to say something else. Oh boy. I got a question for you though. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
who was your favorite that got outside of Rook that got drafted out of Clemson, man? Who's the one that you're looking forward to the most as far as career wise?
Well, I think the first one is going to be Nate Wiggins, the cornerback, got drafted by the Ravens. If anybody's
Yeah, I like him.
if anybody's followed his story, it's wild because last year, no, 2 seasons ago, 2022, he had probably the worst game against Wake Forest I've ever seen a cornerback have. Just completely burnt. Had the game-winning breakup. He won the game, but just had an awful game. And ever since that, turned it on and has worked his way into being a first-round draft pick. And so I'm just excited to see him really continue just to build on that, because he's been a guy that, at one point just you didn't think it was ever going to click for him, and then it did. The other guy I think it's a fun story is Jeremiah Trotter Jr. going to the Eagles where his dad played. And he's going to, just to see how that works. I think that's always a good story, and that'll be neat.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't expecting you to say that. I wasn't expecting that one.
That sounds very familiar because that sounds like AJ Terrell right there, boy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, kid. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Because I remember, man, AJ Terrell getting torched by Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, and Falcon fans being mad about the pick.
Maybe it's a Clemson thing, and that's not a shot. That's not a shot. Because I like AJ. I like him.
Yeah.
Hey, Clemson got plenty players, man. Mike, is there any other Clemson players that you may have knowledge of that you may be excited about?
No, absolutely not. Just Ruke. I do have a question though.
Go ahead, Mike.
So there's this bum that a guy used to. I mean, every chance he got, he was like, "This guy is it. He's the next generation of players and all that type of stuff." So, what is your thoughts when you first saw this guy come out of college? And his name is Mr. Simmons. So, what are your thoughts of Mr. Simmons coming out of college? Did you think he was going to be? Oh, you know I was going to do that.
Oh my God!
Yes, you knew I was going to do that because I have another guy I just worked with. Oh my God, he just told me how Sam Jackson was going to be. Yeah, dude, I went there. But this dude would not let up on Simmons. So what are your honest thoughts about what went wrong with him, and was he ever as good as people set out everybody thought he was?
I'm sorry, I don't think who are we talking about?
Mr. Simmons.
Mr. Simmons. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Simmons. Yes, Mr. Simmons.
Okay. I'm still kind of interested to see how he does with New York. I think there was, going to be some things that he just didn't fit as well with Arizona, but we'll see what happens. He was, again, another guy that was kind of a under the radar recruit that Brent Venables brought, and was just, a very, very good at a lot of positions at Clemson, and I think he can still put things together.
Yeah, because I'm thinking what the issue kind of went wrong with him was the fact that they tried him at so many different positions that he didn't they didn't allow him to master nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It just like with Reddick, when Reddick was in Arizona, they didn't know what to do with him. But when he went to Philadelphia and he shined, he had double-digit sack guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about scheme and how and putting the players in the best position for them to succeed. And we know the Cardinals historically they have a horrible job at doing that with the players they draft.
So think about this. He got drafted to be a linebacker. Kind of like you said, but the thing about it is they just listed him as linebacker. They didn't say middle, outside, or nothing. He was just linebacker. I think he was the first athlete. He was the first athlete to ever get drafted
in NFL, yeah.
Because they didn't know what to put him at. And then the past couple of years, they had him at strong safety, free safety, nickel
slide corner. They had
like,
stuff like.
I'm sitting here like, I thought y'all drafted him to be a linebacker. Why the hell is he playing a slot corner?
And I think that's the thing too. Like with a guy like that in college, you can kind of get away with it. Whereas you get to the NFL, it's harder to do that. And I always say it too when I see a lot of guys at Clemson who you can tell in high school were the best athlete on the field, and the getting to the college games and new adjustments. It's the same to the NFL. I mean, Isaiah was the fast. I mean, he was the fastest guy on those Clemson teams, and those were some really fast teams. He's just used to. I think he's very much used to being the best, and it's you get the NFL, everybody's good.
Yeah, that's why I think where his issue was, they didn't really have a game plan for him. They basically just threw him out there like, "Hey, go do something." Like, hey, but coach, I'm lacking in this area. Well, go run faster. You can make up for it. That's what that's what they got to deal with him. So
yeah,
like you said, with New York, like you said, by him kind of finding a little bit more of a role for him, I think we can actually start seeing the player that he can be, and I think that's good for him. Like you said, Arizona ain't worth. We see what they did with Zayvon Collins, ain't worth a damn. You saw Hassan Reddick, ain't worth a damn. You see Isaiah Simmons, they ain't doing shit with him. Buda Baker on his way damn out. Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Oh man. So we want to go that route. Got a question for you, Matt. As long as you've been covering Clemson, who was the most favorite player at that program that you loved covering?
Man, probably one of the most fun. I mean, it was Ben Boulware. He was the middle linebacker on the 2016 championship team. Just a ball of energy. Just a fun guy to watch play. Also, really, loved Isaiah Simmons. Like he was just fun because of how you didn't know what Brent Venables was going to do, and just how else he was going. How they were going to use him. So those were always fun. And then I think the best character was always Christian Wilkins. I mean, he's just he was just a funny guy and just an outstanding athlete. Another guy, it's kind of funny talking about Ruke playing a little bit defensive end. 2016, Christian Wilkins had to play defensive end for Clemson at 315 pounds. Like, and I mean, and did well at it. So it's just, again, fun to see kind of those guys play out of position and be able to dominate like that.
I have a question. I'm segueing out of the Clemson, but it's still Clemson related, but it's also Falcons related. So you are a Falcons fan, that's correct, right?
Correct.
What was and I need you to be honest of how the all season of 2022 went. You remember that Deshaun Watson was rumored to come to Atlanta. What was your true feelings at that time?
There was so much with that I really just I don't know where to even begin on that, because that would have been a big undertaking for the Falcons with everything going on with him. But I also, I mean, I think for him personally, I think him being closer to home would have been very good for him. I think, getting around people that he kind of knows that maybe could help him steer in the right direction, stay out of bad situations would be good. But I also know that was just, I mean, that was one of those things. There were people that quit being Falcons fans because they were talking to Deshaun, not even signing him, just because they were talking to him. So you were going to deal with a lot of pushback from that. I also just, I mean, man, that's a lot of money to pay for a guy that the first year played half a season. Like, it's one of those that it would have been cool to get to see him come back and play, especially because he has the history of being the ball boy of the Falcons and just everything there. But man, it would have had a lot of other side to it.
And Noah brought up another name Arizona done ruined, and Deion Buchanan as well. So,
oh man,
but yeah, going down that situation, yeah, that was kind of a delicate situation, man, because it's like you're looking at this, you're looking at it for the player that he could be, but then you looking at all the off the field stuff that was going around at that time. Like I said, they couldn't really they talked to him, and it kind of forced the hand of trading Matt Ryan. But the thing about it was, I, I don't know, but I think they did the right thing by not getting them because now, like I said, now you had to deal with multiple years of being in cap hell already as it was. Now the fruits of the labors of them not going after these big high priced quarterbacks like well before Kirk Cousins stuff. But the thing about it, they was able to build the team. And that was the focus right there. So like you said, hey, it was a necessary time for them to do for it to happen. Hey, got my defensive line, man. That's all I'm happy about.
I want some bullshit. Can you give me some bullshit? I want the worst Clemson player that you just because I obviously kind of perturbed because I thought you was gonna bring up Mister Sunshine, but that's a whole nother conversation in itself. So give me some nonsense. Who's the worst guy that you never want to see ever in life that ever put on a Clemson jersey?
Oh, now I'm not going to be mean. I can't do that. Now that's
You
I don't like to be mean to these
gotta put
guys.
that man in jeopardy, man. Don't do him like that.
Oh no, now, you know, look, I get it. There's some guys out there that you kind of watch, and it's like, man, I don't know what we were thinking recruiting him, but you know, I don't want to put in names because it's you know, with college guys that because they're well, I know now they're getting paid, but because you know, I'm old school with that they're kids, you know, so I don't want to get I don't want to get too into who I
So it's
don't
not
like.
Big Beasley. It's not Big Beasley.
Vic Beasley was really good at Clemson.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Vic was
Yeah.
and Vic was really good in 2016 for
Vic
the
was
Falcons.
really good, and I only brought that up because one of the guys in the chat said that. So
Coaching failed him in Atlanta, man. If we being real, man, like it just, yeah.
I thought he was gonna be a superstar, but like when they start putting him at middle linebacker, dropping in coverage, I was like, yeah, his career over.
Y'all doing too much, doing way too much. But so, did you go to Clemson?
I did, yeah. I graduated 2017.
No wonder you're so freaking loyal to it, man.
But
It
hold
makes
on,
sense now.
I got a question. So you attended, you was on campus. All right. What's some good food spots there? It's a gas
Oh
station
my
that's famous,
God.
right? Did you go to that gas station? What's the name of the gas station?
The Esso Club, yeah.
They sell some good hamburgers there too, don't they?
They got some good stuff, yeah. They got some good hamburgers, some good wings, good ice cold beer if you're into that thing, you know.
Yeah.
That man had to bring up food. Like he
So
just had to.
that your favorite place, or there was a different places on campus?
Man, that was a good spot, and that's a good spot on game days because it's the closest to the stadium. But I always love TD's downtown, and Tiger Town Tavern is another great one.
Okay.
Yeah, Noah. Yeah, of course, Don wants to talk about food. I'm surprised you ain't just talking about the whole area outside of just the campus itself.
I have something. I have something for you. All right, since you know you're so loyal to the local, and I admire that. Um, a moment, a moment in time, whether you were there or you just look back at Clemson and say, "All right, this is a game. This is a moment that I'll never forget."
I think the first one that comes to mind is 2015 Notre Dame Clemson game. It was the game that was in there was hurricanes hitting the state of South Carolina, so we got torrential rain. We got drenched, but game day was there, night game, and that was really the first time that I felt like Clemson could compete on a national level. You know, because the past few years, I mean, the 2013 Georgia game was great. We've had some other good ones, but you know, that was one of those that was like, we actually might be legit, and that was the kind of the game that springboarded into, you know, finishing out that year number one, playing in the national championship, fell just short against Alabama that year, but then the next year winning the title. And I think that Notre Dame game, I think anybody that was a student at Clemson will talk about that just being like the moment where it was like, Clemson it might actually be here to be a top tier program now.
Okay. You got any other questions, Don?
I got another one for you. See, In football, I like the big fat men's. As RuPaul would say, I want the big fat men. So one come to mind. So one guy that comes to mind, the big defensive tackles. Sorry, can't stop.
He did not just do that.
So
No, go ahead.
Dexter Lawrence is one of my favorite guys in the NFL right now. So can you tell me that you see Dexter Lawrence coming? Um, how he is today? Did you see how he would translate to the NFL? Did you see that?
Yeah, he was a really big time recruit that everybody was excited about, and I remember that for his first year, that 2016 year. I mean, he was somebody everybody was already looking for. So I had no doubt he was going to be a first round pick and roll into the NFL and do so well. Everybody saw him coming like for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, he just took me all the
Look, the big boy got to get some love too. Like the big ugly's got to get some love too, man. Look,
and I will tell you, he is just as big in person as you see on TV. Like I'm a pretty big guy, and I know I've stood next to him. I look small compared to him. So he is. I mean, he really is. Like he about 350 pounds, but he carries it better than anybody ever. I mean, it's an athletic 350. So.
Yeah. And the first few years in New York, he kind of was trying to get into his own, but I really he's not there anymore. But Wink Martindale really helped him out that 2022 season. Because he was a Pro Bowler that year, wasn't he?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he got paid. He definitely.
Yeah, he got paid. Like Wink Martindale came up from Baltimore.
Ooh, Wink did a wonderful job with that defense. And he was a monster that year.
It just last year they just things didn't go right with New York, but it mainly was just that damn offense. They couldn't get going. They couldn't put any points on the board. And the defense, they just you out there most of the time, you taking all the snaps. So of course you're gonna be gassed. But good thing Wink ain't there no more. He went to bluer pastures.
Oh boy, it says you were right there. That was a nice setup.
I see. Oh man, so
Kid look like he doing some numbers, like he's doing some searching. Because
there was a name I had to remember. I had to remember that did play for Clemson. It was kind of like I called it one of the what ifs. This is a what if question, and I'm going down the name of Kelly Bryant.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Look, I'm probably one of the biggest Kelly Bryant defenders you're going to meet. Really like Kelly a lot. He just, he fell between Deshaun and Trevor, who were just elite talents. And I mean, Trevor just beat him out. But I think Kelly Bryant is a quarterback that, you can't look past what he did. I mean, he won an ACC title, went to the college football playoffs, which is something that, not every quarterback at Clemson does. And, so I will always appreciate everything Kelly gave to the program. And he was, he gets some flack, but I really enjoyed watching him play.
Yeah, and I think you said the key thing too. I think he just can't. He was there at the wrong time.
Exactly.
At the wrong time, because he was about better than any other quarterback we've ever had outside of Haynes King down here at Georgia Tech. For the love of God, because I think because for a lot of folks that don't know was the Trevor Lawrence coming out party actually started against Tech.
That's right. I do remember that.
Yeah. We got our ass whooped by 40 damn points. I remember that because I think Kelly. I think y'all was up by like 14 or 20 when Kelly was in there. Then when Trevor Lawrence came in there, then y'all just went up by like 45 or 50. I said, yeah, dude.
And I think if I remember,
that was Collins. That was like Collins' first game as a coach. Second year. It was the
Yeah,
second year,
yeah,
right?
that
Yeah.
was Trevor's first game, first appearance in college football was against us.
And I think if I remember correctly, I think it was right after that game is when Dabo decided to start Trevor over Kelly. That was
Yeah,
kind of the where he made the switch because I think because I remember I think that was the fourth game of the year. So after that, Kelly could take his redshirt year and go to Missouri. So
Yeah.
damn that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. I just sat there looked at my TV like,
but
I know this. I
there's
know, I
just
know. I was like, I know Sunshine didn't just come in.
but there have
And,
been so many times in my life that Georgia Tech has like ruined a good Clemson season. This is kind of like this is kind of a
yeah,
just payback. Like
yeah.
I was at that game in 2020, the 76 Clemson hung like 76, and I was like, pour it on them, just pour it on them. We owe them this. We owe.
Oh my God. Hey man. So we're gonna get to a Falcon question, man. Like I said, this is another one. So as you already know, I want to get your thoughts on the Kirk Cousins situation. Do you feel like what did you feel about them picking Michael Penix after paying Kirk Cousins the contract he got? Do you think that this is a good situation? Do you think it was kind of like for what we're seeing is it almost seemed like they're trying so hard for it to not to be the last couple years that they may overplay their hand just a tad bit. Is that how you feeling, or you think this is a great situation right now?
I'm talking myself more and more into it than the night of the draft. I was like, I don't know what we're doing, but the thing is, I'll say like before Falcons signed Cousins, my thing was like, I want the Falcons to draft Penix. I think he was the guy I liked the most. I think like he was the quarterback I was hoping they get. Then they signed Cousins. I'm like, okay, well that's probably over. And then it was just like, where did this come from? I think it can work. I think it can work. I kind of wish they picked up somebody who could, immediately help out Kirk Cousins. I kind of wish they played a win for this year. But I'm the more I kind of look at it, the more I'm starting to feel a little bit better with it. I still confused, but I'm feeling a little better. I'm feeling a little bit better, just a tiny bit.
Because I think where a lot of people are kind of still feeling some type of way about it, and like you said, I know for me, I'm still kind of on that fence a little bit, is because it's going to be either a good move or a bad move solely based on how this season plays out.
Yeah. And
Because
go ahead.
no, go ahead, Don.
No, I was just saying, like, far as the Penix pick, I was like, And my thing is, if you look at it, the defensive ends or the pass rushers, they really didn't fall off the board that much in the first round. So I was okay with that. But if they went quarterback, Penix wasn't my top choice at 8. And wait, go ahead and say it. Go on and say it, K-Star.
No, we're not
No,
gonna say it.
we're
No,
gonna let you go ahead and say why that is.
But I'm just saying, like, far as Zach Robinson's scheme, JJ McCarthy fits it better than Penix Jr.
There you go, right there.
But hey, I just, we'll see. Like you said, it could be a good move, it could be a bad move. But I'm just gonna say this now. I'm gonna literally I'm gonna have to buy a lot of plaster and drywall for my house, because if I see JJ McCarthy take the Vikings to the playoffs and win in the playoffs, it's gonna be a lot of holes in this house that's gonna need to be fixed.
There's some holes in this house. There's some holes in this house.
If you see him, patch him up. I'm about to do some patchwork.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's where kind of like a lot of the backlash coming from too, is like if that was the game plan from the beginning. And I know it's the numbers of viewers just went up just by the mention of Michael Penix, so it ain't just about him. But it's, to me, they took a huge gamble this year. You can go look at either situation they did, whether it's picking him at 8 or paying Kirk the money that they pay him. Like you said, the Kirk would not have been a gamble if they didn't pick Penix. But the thing is, they picked Penix. That's a gamble. But now it makes Kirk Cousins' contract look more like a gamble. That's my mindset on it. But like you said, we gotta see it play out. The only thing I will never say is I'm not going to anoint somebody a damn savior. This is what I'm trying to get people to understand. Don't anoint nobody a savior until they play a game.
No, I agree with that. I mean, that's the thing too, with Kirk. Like I'm just waiting to see how he does because he is coming off injury. I just even before Penix, I wasn't the biggest fan of the signing. I think they just gave him a lot of money, and I don't know. I don't know if it was the best move, but we'll find out here in August.
Okay. Mike, you want to add something to that? You got any more questions?
Well, yeah, I want to start some more nonsense. So, I have a question for you. Atlanta Falcons fans, obviously, they're not a lot of guys that aren't Bijan or Bijan Robinson, whatever that is. But yeah, they're not. They're Bijan Robinson fans, and a lot of people are under the impression that the Falcons can keep both running backs. Where do you stand with Bijan and Tyler all year being able to coexist?
I mean, I think Bijan's the future, definitely, and I mean, I think he's going to be your main running back. I mean, I just don't know that you're going to be able to keep them both.
What do you think is the time? What do you think is the timetable for that? Do you think that this is the last year we see both of them together?
It wouldn't. It honestly wouldn't surprise me. I guess I really haven't even looked at the contracts on either of those guys, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see a move after this season.
Hey man, I'll be upset if we lose. I'll be upset we lose Tyler too. But like you said,
and just the way the NFL is right now, they're not playing running backs. Like after 3 years, they're trying to find a way to get rid of you. So it's like that's my thing. If we can keep them with a reasonable contract, and most players are not trying to be reasonable with teams, I don't know how they guys coexist. Like, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, Don. Well, you got a question you want to get you want to ask?
What do you think about because we talked about Michael Phoenix Jr., we talked about Ruke. What's your thoughts on Raheem Morris and the coaching staff?
Man, I'm excited about what Raheem can bring to the program. I think probably should have just hired him after he was the interim a few years ago. I think that would have made a lot of sense then. But I think I'm excited for him and what all he can do for Atlanta. There was part of me that was kind of, I don't want to say I wanted, but I was interested in the idea of Bill Belichick coming to Atlanta because I think that would have been fascinating. I mean, I don't know how it would have turned out, but it'd have been must see TV for a few years.
That's for sure.
And so yeah, but I really do like Raheem, and I think he can bring a lot of great stuff to Atlanta.
Okay. It's probably bring more of a youthful energy. Hopefully, it can invigorate these guys to actually go above and beyond their physical limitations. One more Falcon question because I got one more Clemson question after this too. So one more Falcon question. What was your thoughts on Arthur Smith?
Oh man!
So we have a saying over here when it comes to Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot. Our motto is both of them ain't shit.
I think that says it all, man.
But Terry Fontenot is a real reason why we say Terry Fontenot ain't shit because he be making moves out of nowhere and stuff like that. And you be like, hey man, I know you ain't just do that. But then it makes sense. But like you said, as far as Arthur Smith is like,
Nah.
What's your thoughts on Arthur Smith?
Was never really that big a fan of him, and it never seemed like it was ever going to work out. And where did he end up? I forgot where he ended up.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Offense
Yeah.
coordinator, Pittsburgh.
Well, maybe just being the offense coordinator, he might be able to do a little better. But yeah, I was never the biggest fan of that hire, and I'm glad that I think it benefits everybody from the part ways.
So, do you think that he tried to? Do you think he tried to be too much like the Patriot way since he come from that coaching tree with Vrabel? Vrabel was under Belichick. You think he was trying too hard to be a hard ass? That it kind of.
He probably was, and I think it's similar to what we see in college that a lot of the Saban guys don't work out, and I think it's because you got to be a certain somebody to be able to pull that one off, and I think that's with Smith, and in college Saban did it, and Kirby's been able to do it.
It's only one. That's why I was ready for you to say it.
But there's been a lot that haven't been able to do it. It's the similar type thing. So yeah, no, I agree. Trying a little bit too hard with the Patriot way.
Okay. All right. So, got one more question for you, and we're gonna go right back to Clemson. Who was your favorite wide receiver out of Clemson? Between DeAndre, for those that may not know, like I said, you got quite plenty of them that came out there for us. DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Williams. Who was your favorite wide receiver? Who you think was the best wide receiver to come out of Clemson?
The best I think I saw, like, just not talking about pros, just talking about what they did on the field at Clemson. I think Sammy Watkins. I've never seen someone be just that explosive. I think Sammy was the best. But DeAndre Hopkins was special, and Mike Williams was also special. I mean, those guys were good, and those were ones that you could throw that jump ball to, and they were going to come down with it. But Sammy was something else.
What you think, Mike?
Sammy Watkins was just like he just gave me nightmares, and I love to watch him. I love to watch him play. So Sammy for me, that's it.
Yeah, because unfortunately, Sammy Watkins was pre-Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. So you didn't get the full Sammy experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the funny thing with Sammy is he was not necessarily the biggest recruit in that class.
Mm-hmm.
This guy named Mike Bellamy, running back, was who ended up getting kicked off the team. Didn't really pan out, but I remember. I think 2011, Sammy's freshman year, that first game played Troy or somebody, and pretty quickly it was like this kid's going to be good. This kid's special, and he was something else. I mean, it was something different with him.
Damn, it just brought me to another damn Clemson question, man. Good Lord, DJ Uiagalelei. What happened?
Earlier when I talked about how there's guys I see in college that you can tell they were the best athlete on their high school team, and then it doesn't translate to the next level. I think that was some of DJ. I think he was very used to being able to do some things and get away with it because he was the biggest, fastest, strongest kid on the team. And I just don't think it ever panned out for him. I hope the best for him at Florida State. I think Oregon State was a really good fit for him. I think that scheme was a lot better than ours, and some of it too, though. And I mean, his quarterback coach Brandon Streeter, who, as we see, is no longer at Clemson. There's a reason for that. Brandon Streeter wasn't, the best quarterback coach, and I kind of wonder if he had been there either under a Chad Morris or now Garrett Riley, if things would have gone a little bit differently. Because I know. If you talk with Clemson fans, and if you look at, as good as Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence were, there were a few things, there were some slight regressions that we saw with them over the years under Streeter. The difference is they're generational talent, so them not playing their best is still better than everybody else. That wasn't going to be DJ.
Yeah, because I about to say
That
DJ,
dude was a
man.
nightmare. Oh my god.
Oh boy, I was about to say. I think his problem was he.
He just lost confidence for whatever reason. He just lost a lot of confidence. You could
I'm
see
telling
the
you,
talent, but he just it's like
it,
for
it,
whatever it just turned. He just turned off.
I just
it
don't have anything to say good about Clemson, man. Like I'm upset with y'all because y'all have a good baseball coach there right now.
We do have a good one that we took from Michigan. The
Yeah.
I knew it
I'm
was something. I
just wait,
knew it was
look.
something.
You
I
knew
was
you knew
waiting for
why.
it.
You knew what you knew it was coming. I'm just
Man, he had us in the College World Series, man, several years ago, man.
I knew it was some. I knew it was
yeah.
somewhere.
But
I knew it.
DJ, the problem was it was the curse of the Byron Leftwich release.
okay. Now I like that.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that thing was so bad, boy. You go to the bathroom, but before the snap, and 5 minutes later, he just now winding up. He's just now finishing. But hey, man, we had some fun up here tonight, boy. We getting about the hour mark now, so we're gonna go ahead and get everybody's final thoughts. I think this was definitely one of our good shows here, man. Matt, we appreciate you coming on, man. So,
Mm-hmm.
any final words you want to give to us before we head on out, man?
Man, I'm excited for to be getting closer to another football season. Still got a while away, but every day we're getting a little bit closer. But I think again, I think just look out. I think Ruke's going to be a good addition for the Falcons, and hopefully continues this nice little pipeline of Clemson players that are doing well for the Falcons. Maybe that will make Georgia UGA and Falcons
Oh, I
fans a
knew you
little
was
bit
gonna. I
nicer.
knew you was gonna do that. I knew it.
Now, you gotta remember Georgia's pipeline is the Philadelphia Eagles. You gotta remember that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I hate it. I hate it. I really do.
Yeah.
Shit, we ain't got no damn pipe. All our play. I think we only had like maybe
No.
2 players get drafted in the last 6
It's
years.
always the Ravens or something. Y'all, it's like y'all always get drafted or they get signed by the Ravens or
It's
something.
usually the Packers. It's usually the Packers,
The Packers, yeah.
or the Cowboys. That I don't know why, but it's usually
Mm-hmm.
they always end up being undrafted free agents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is what it is. Hey, but Mike, you got any final words for the night, man?
Hey man, we appreciate you coming on, Matt. Even though you're a Clemson duck, and like I said, we appreciate it, man. Definitely be happy to see you back, and talk some college football, hopefully. So yeah, thank you, Matt, for joining us, brother.
Absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right, Don.
appreciate you coming on, man.
You got a final word, Don. You got some final food recipes you want to give us too?
Man, look, I ain't got nothing for nobody right now.
Yeah, because then I ate it all.
Now y'all see this, right? I gave him the opportunity to talk food.
Hey,
He
he
don't
didn't.
want to talk food. Ain't that something?
I know he got something. I know he trying not to give it up, but I know he got something. I know he got something.
Look, this is something I just Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. You know, take your mama out. Don't be having her in the kitchen cooking for Mother's Day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I know my mom. She want to cook her own food because
Yeah.
one, it ain't going to the restaurant ain't gonna be enough food for her or whatever. She want to have leftovers and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely Mother's Day. Like you said, just show the ladies in your life that you appreciate them as usual. Like you said, when Father's Day coming, we're gonna say the same thing about the fathers and stuff around here too. So
Even though we don't get none, we probably get some tube socks and
coupon to Pizza Hut or something.
You gonna get tube socks, some drawers, and a box of condoms.
Ain't no reservation. Yeah, no reservations. And it's funny because you got to book ahead for Mother's Day for like it pays to be packed. Father's Day, you try to call for reservation, they like ain't nobody here.
Boy, they begging for you to come in on Mother's Day. Hey man, like you said, man, we appreciate everybody coming in. Like you said, the conversation is always the most important thing over here. As far as make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that share for the Heavy Hitters Live. Make sure you also go follow the Don's Favor. Make sure you also follow Mad Mike Sports and Mad Mike Network, Six Man K Styles. And Matt, where can they find you at again, man?
You can find me on Twitter at MattFG53. You can also check out ShakingTheSouthland.com for coverage of Clemson. Right now, I'm doing a lot of baseball coverage. So if you like college baseball, it's always a good always a good thing to look at.
Okay. So we're
Definitely.
gonna definitely have that in the
I ain't
community
watching. I'm
tabs.
definitely not watching Clemson baseball. I'm boycotting that.
I'll say one thing about Tech Boy. That boy Drew Burris is a motherfucker. I'll tell you that much right now. For those that don't know, I actually watch a YouTube channel called the Baseball Bat Bros. That's like one of my favorite things. And they had Drew Burris on that. See, I didn't know he was a Georgia Tech commitment until I saw that. And then I saw him. This motherfucker hitting the ball out the park like mud. So, hey, college baseball is where it's at right now, man. Y'all better put some respect on it. So till next time, people, we ain't here to play.
No.
We here to stay.
Oh yeah, dig it.
We ain't gotta go home.
But you got to get the hell up out of here.
And remember, people, if they think of you as the bad guy, embrace the inner villain. Deuces. And don't worry, this is tea. This is nothing illegal.
Wow.
It needs some liquor in it.